All right, Shalom Yashala, Kol Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Waharaka Kodash Brakatham. I like to give double honors to the apostles and bishops and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the select number of Akyam pushing his truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aqua that are listening. Now, what I have here on the screen is if some of you Akyam and Aqua aren't privy to this screwworm spreading now through livestock, and what it is if anything, it's a parasite that's feeding off livestock and pets and whatnot, right? But I'm gonna let the excerpt of this clip play, and then I'm gonna get some scriptures.
Screwworm has been found in U.S. livestock. Now, this is the first time in decades, and officials say they are taking it seriously. The parasite, it burrows into and feeds on living tissue, and experts warn a widespread outbreak could cost billions of dollars and drive beef prices higher. The USDA says a case was confirmed in a 3-week-old calf in South Texas. The agency has deployed response teams to the area and is working to contain and eradicate the parasite before it spreads further. New World screwworm, it doesn't spread from animal to animal. Instead, flies lay eggs in open wounds. Then the larvae destroy the tissue and can cause deadly infections. The parasite can also infect wildlife and pets. Veterinarians in Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico have been urged to watch for new cases. And human infections, they're rare, though they have been fatal in some cases. Overall, the USDA says the current risk to people is extremely low. Those most at risk are people who work closely with livestock or other warm-blooded animals. And for now, officials say the U.S. food supply still remains safe.
Hey, so as you can see, the Most High always tribute and this to Yahweh Bashim Yashah, man. People think this is just some random, and no, man, it's the spirit and power and prophecy of Yahweh Bashim Yashah. So like you bury me, Baba Kushat. Okay, there we go. Yeah, but it's the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yashah, man. This is prophecy. Okay, and then also from my understanding, what I found interesting, I believe the U.S. Agency for International Development, I believe Trump and them had cut funding for it, and it said contain the New World screwworm in Central America. Matter of fact, let me read this. Salakia. This is from Google, by the way. It says the Trump administration cut funding for U.S. Agency for International Development projects that monitored and contained the New World screwworm in Central America. The funding was eliminated as a part of broader federal spending reduction spearheaded by the Department of Government Efficiency, the DOGE, right? I believe that's what Elon was over. Let me continue reading. It says critics and agriculture advocates have pointed to these cuts alongside shifting border policies on Mexican cattle as factors leaving the U.S. unprepared for the parasite's recent return to Texas following the first confirmed domestic case of New World screwworm in 45 years. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA, enacted a quarantine in South Texas, increased trapping, and accelerated the release of sterile flies to combat the outbreak. It's gonna be it's gonna be it's gonna be a beautiful summer, as I like to say, as we say every year. Why? Because prophecy is moving things along. A lot of people too complacent and comfortable. Guess what? Hey, this is the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yashah. He gonna shake things up. A lot of people aren't gonna be able to barbecue as comfortably, right? A lot of people aren't gonna be able to buy buy the things that they, that they used to, and that's what concerning what oxtails, brisket, hamburger, and and this is, then this is for everybody, the tribes, the heathens, and so forth. If you're in the U.S., right, that's what it was. That's where it was. So like that's where it was being talked about in this news segment, right? And also, I believe Governor Greg Abbott signed a declaration of. Let me see. What emergency? Bear me, Baba Kushah. It was a declaration that was signed, I believe, Friday. Let me see. Bear me, Baba Kushah. Yeah, it was a disaster proclamation. Okay. And so the price of beef is gonna go up, which is no shock because everything's gonna go up. You know. Then but hey, this is the will of Yahweh Bashim Yashah. Call hello Yahweh Bashim Yashah. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay, this is what Ezra's asking, man. Because it's like, whoa, like, as we know, war is destruction, because if the Most High, if the Most High ain't rocking with you, hey, you in trouble. Okay, you in trouble. Point blank, period. That's why Ezra's is like, man. So let me reread that again. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days. Okay, these are these instances and these proclamations and declarations and executive orders, man. That's all the will of Yahweh Bashim Yashah, man, to shake people up and get them uncomfortable. Everybody comfortable here, man, and call hello Yahweh Bashim Yashah for that. Everybody's very proud and entitled. The Lord about to shake some shit up. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay, this is a question that Ezra is asking. We understand, and call hello Yahweh Bashim Yashah for things what were written aforetime for our understanding. So we understand how to maneuver and navigate, man, in this society. Okay. Hey, we now know. Hey, bros. And really be mindful in the consumption of anything in Babylon. Just ain't the beef. Next thing you know, it'll be cabbage and apples and which it's like every few years here. And that's nothing but the Most High, hey man, destroying this place, man, bit by bit, piece by piece. So prophecy is just picking this place off. You know what I'm saying? Because this is Egypt 2.0. This is Rome 2.0. Okay. So yeah, so more plagues are coming, right? They've got what the STDs. They got new STDs that they're getting info on, from the past spring break from Houston, all that, man. And this is Yahweh Bashim Yashah, even though people can't see it, Verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Okay. In other words, man, you more and more you people are gonna be humbled, man. Okay, by these plagues, by the famine, okay, by the high prices, people being priced out. A lot more people just bitching about rent, which is understandable. But hey, we understand, man. That's why we stay in a contrite spirit. Ain't a reason for us to be proud, man. We're set up to do the work. That's it, and that's all, man. Okay. Woe is me if I preach not the gospel, right? And matter of fact, I just, that's my go-to, man. That's always a reminder to keep going, Akian. The Most High, he he got us as long as we doing, the right thing, doing what we supposed to, man. Or if not, we gonna be destroyed. Or if not, we gonna be complaining about, which we gonna complain, but not to the extent of these people, because we know what's coming down the pipeline through the Spirit. Okay, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 16. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yea, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. So we understand. So it's like, hey, man, we see these things happening, and we're not sure. Just from the simple fact, we know things are never going back, bro. Okay, Babylon's number has been called. Okay, and it's the final curtain call. Okay. Verse 20. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Okay, so these people just can keep complaining and doing the same BS. And until they're completely out of here, man. Okay. So it's just like, man, our people, 2/3 our people are gonna continue to get punished. Our people are hard headed. Our people don't listen. Okay. Our people always have something to say. Guess what? The Most High always got a counter for that. Like, this is the Most High. Okay, your the way you feel, your bank account, how your job is tripping, how the economy is going. Guess what? That's all the will of Yahweh Bashim Yashah, man. Okay, as hard as that for you people to believe. Okay, because it's what? It was prophesied, man. Verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Guess what? There is particular stuff that is, being, presented as, hey, man, this is, we know people are on hard times. So, of course you're going to look for a bargain in these times, but hey, but it's still confusion, man. Okay. Evils are still growing upon the earth. And they say the screwworm is what? From Mexico. So now it's going to be what? It's going to be the war waged and so forth. And also, Salakia, in verse 18, hey, it's not Iran and the U.S. and Israel going back and forth? Is not Russia and Ukraine at war as well? So, we don't understand what people are looking at, man. But you better, hey, if you are Israelite, you're Israelite, man. Hey, it's your best. This is your best move. Your best move is to get on the winning team through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yashah. Because ain't no coming back. America is finito, man. Okay, and the screwworm is more things to come. Unemployment is still going up. Just a lot of things, man. More people are losing their homes and so forth, man. People are losing their shit. But call halal Yahweh Bashim Yashah for that, man. That's all prophecy. For prophecy's sake. That's why these things are happening. Okay, that's why it's going, you're going, hey, those proud people who think, I ain't going to be affected. We'll see. Keep living. Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay, so if you're able to not get ill with any of the famines, the pestilence, now this is a pestilence along with the famine, right? Because also what now, certain parts of the U.S. can't ship meat, to Canada now. The Eve, she just stated, I believe that was Eve, she just stated what? that the stock industry, livestock industry, is about to lose billions of dollars. So now that's going to drive prices up. And you have a an uptick of people on the getting on the vegetarian side. You got vegetarians, you got vegans, pescatarians, and then you got Bill Gates, who's doing some crazy stuff in the lab and all this farmland. So everything is lining up how it should be lining up, man. Okay, let me reread this last verse, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Okay, we're seeing more and more people being dealt with heavy, man. Being dealt with heavy. And we know the modern day sword is what? The firearm, right? And then some people will literally take it there with the sword too. If it be the will of Yahweh Shem Yashah. But that's all I have on this. And Abba Ratazah, this is edifying for the body. So once again, with that, call halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Waharaka Kodash Brakatham. Once again, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutation to the select number of Akyam pushing its truth and sincerity in four corners of the round earth. And salutations to the select number of Aquatat that listening. Shalom.